Nathan Benefield, Commonwealth Foundation, Harrisburg, PA. Nathan?
Thanks, Scott. I'll just offer a few thoughts on the Liberty Movement, and I'll start with a question I often get, or at least a question that's often asked, no one in particular that I like to answer anyway, and that is, why weren't there any Tea Party rallies when George Bush was spending like a drunken sailor? I think the answer I give is that who knew? Who among us knew that if we held a rally, there'd be thousands of people that showed up for it? I was quite unsuspecting of that. Not only that people felt the way I did, because I think I did believe that most people did think we were spending too much money, but that there were people who wanted to get actively engaged in politics. In fact, when we helped organize the first Tea Party here at the state capitol in Harrisburg, I was hoping, man, I hope we get 100 people to show up. Maybe 150, that'd be great. And we saw probably close to 1,000 there. And I certainly never expected that we would see dozens or maybe even hundreds of different organizations pop up across Pennsylvania, from Tea Party groups to 9/12 organizations to dozens of other Liberty organizations all over. And I'm stunned when I'm asked to come speak to a forum, and that's pretty rare a few years ago, but now is much more common. And I get to go and speak and see a couple hundred people show up to hear me present on the state budget or on government pensions, which I know are not exciting issues, and I'm pretty sure they're not showing up because I'm so good looking. It's just exciting to see people getting involved in those issues. And there's little doubt in my mind that the Liberty Movement has changed the political debate. There's a new market for people reading and discussing The Road to Serfdom, or Atlas Shrugged, and of course the Constitution. There's far more opportunities to engage on policy issues, and the fact is that the electorate is more engaged now than I've ever seen it, and the result, I think, is a great awakening of the public on what our politicians at the federal level, the state level, and the local level are up to. And as evidence of the impact, I'm going to point to it was a recent interview with Joe Sestak, who's running for Senate, in which he's quoted saying, "I'm a fiscal conservative." And there was a recent Wall Street Journal piece this summer in which they interviewed Governor Rendell, and his quote was, "I am a fiscal conservative." Now, you might not believe them. You may think they're just stretching the truth a little bit to give voters what they want to hear. But the fact of my conclusion is that it's now cool to be a fiscal conservative. In fact, I'll say, we are all fiscal conservatives now. But there are many challenges ahead of us. And what the movement has accomplished in changing minds and attitudes, and even with some electoral success, has not yet transformed public policy. And I don't think victory is going to come in the November elections, or in 2012, or possibly even for many decades. The question I have is, what will the Tea Party movement look like in 5 years, or 10 years? Will it continue to be a vibrant force? To be victorious, we must overcome not only the institutional left, and that's with groups like MoveOn.org and the remnants of ACORN, which are still around, Democracy Alliance, public employee unions, and the like, all of which are well-funded organizations and very politically active, and will be for decades. We must also overcome what I call the unprincipled cronies, from the K Street lobbyists to businesses that feed off of taxpayer funding, to politicians who are simply self-serving. And they're just, riding the wave out and will hoping to buy their time with the goal of controlling government, controlling all the powers of government. These are the obstacles we're going to face, and it won't go away just with a victory in November or in 2012 or whenever. We have a long battle ahead, and the Liberty Movement has not yet proven it will stand the test of time. But I'm far more optimistic about our future than I was 2 years ago. And I've seen a new force in our political culture dedicated to individual liberty, free enterprise, and limited constitutional government. And I'm far more confident that our liberties will be protected by this vibrant force that has emerged. Thank you.